Well, I think it's natural for people to draw that type of conclusions, especially when before the general elections, the previous state government and the federal government had given promises, iron-clad promises, mind you, that these projects will proceed and are steaming ahead, full speed ahead. And yet, after the change of government, after the voters threw out the Barisan National government, we find the federal government singing a different tune. They now claim that the approvals, basic approvals, have not even been given. Now, what is going on? Does this mean that they were not telling the truth before the elections, or that they have taken a different tack? They have adopted instead a vindictive approach to wreak vengeance on the voters for daring to throw them out. And I would say this, that if that is their attitude, they underestimate the people of Penang. Do not test the resolve of the people of Penang, because they have made their decision, and I believe that they want this government to be given the room to perform its duties to rule the state.
But what can you do? I mean, if they decided not to.
No, I would not want to say what we would do, but definitely there are contingency plans, or we do not wish to come to that, because that would be unpleasant. And we believe that cooler heads, as well as there will be a sense of sobriety, that cooler heads will prevail, sound reason will prevail, good sense will prevail. So unless the government doesn't practice good sense, sound reason, as well as rational thinking, then there would be this type of unnecessary flap over whether there is such a project or not. And I would say that as far as the federal government is concerned, it is as much in their interest as in Penang's interest to ensure that these mega projects proceed. Because if it's a loss to Penang, it also will be a loss to the federal government. Any action that is detrimental to Penang would also be detrimental to Malaysia. So we are one and the same. So we hope that, as I said, that cooler heads prevail, and that the leaders are not influenced by some of the rather emotional and extremist thinking of some of the losers in the elections, that they must respect the choice of the voters. Well, I would not like to speculate, but we are only complying with procedures, and to ensure that the rules are upheld, and more importantly, public interest is protected. So if in the course of carrying out my duties, the government sees fit, the federal government, when you sees fit to wreak or to take this type of action, then I think that this would cast a very bad light on their respect for democracy, as well as the way they govern Malaysia. Governance is not based on vengeance. Governance is based on sound reason, good sense, and a rational approach based on what the Penang government is doing. We want a CAT government. What is a CAT government? A government with competence, accountability, and transparency. And to get a CAT government, we want to be fair to everyone. We want to use our best resources. We are willing to consider those who want to serve in the Penang state government, regardless of race, religion, gender, or political affiliation. I know this is something very new, but this is the norm internationally. But for Malaysia, it is something new. But I think we should upgrade ourselves. We should move up the ladder. We should put ourselves to international norms, and we should do what is commonly internationally accepted practice. No, I think we were against this. We are not against projects per se. We are against projects that were carried out without consultation with the people. We are against projects which were expensive. We were against projects which were no different from being part of the gravy train. We do not want projects that were on the gravy train to allow one or two individuals to become multi-billionaires at the expense of the rakyat. That was what we were opposed to. We are not opposed against projects per se. So as I said, we want to give our inputs. For example, the second bridge was given without open tender. We want to request to the federal government, do an open tender, conduct an open tender exercise. And the same thing that when we talk about the monorail, let us get our inputs in. The bridge, we want to know how much is the final cost. We want to know when will the bridge be completed. At the rate things are going, we do not know whether it will be completed on time. Zaini had given an assurance. He said, you know, on my head that it will be completed on the 1st of January 2011, and yet it's now delayed by 9 months. You don't see him talking anymore. So where is the credibility? Where is the credibility and authority of the government? If they don't mean what they say, and they say what they don't mean. So I think that is the essence of credibility. If you say what you don't mean, or you mean what you don't say, I think where is the trust? And when you are talking about governance, it's about public trust. Where is the trust? We have contingency plans. That's why we have consultations.
Federal government.
No, I say we do not want to dwell into suits or dwell into these contingency plans unless there is a necessity. But we will not be rendered helpless. We believe that a government is only as good as its people. And to be a good government, on that basis, we must learn to trust the people. In the past, you look at Penang's economic development, it has always been private sector driven. And the reason why it has stagnated recently, because the government has failed to trust the people. I think we've got to learn to trust the people again. Let's go back to basics, that Penang's economic development was private sector driven. We had the entrepreneurial spirit. We maximize our human potential. Penang has no natural resources to speak of. What we have is human resources. If we maximize and optimize this human potential and human resources, I think we can go to another level of prosperity.